Good evening, puckheads, and welcome back to the Clear the Ice, the Flyers post-game show here on the Edge Philly Sports with your boy Matty B on the call tonight in for Pat. I was dealing with some family issues. Great to be here. I haven't talked to you guys since, what was that, New Year's Eve? I think I was on. Same result, I guess, this time around, too. The Flyers lose tonight 3-2 in overtime as they return home to Wells Fargo, and this game hurt a little bit. The Flyers dominated the play, they dominated the pace, they outshot the Blue Jackets almost 2-1, and they just once again struggled on the power play. Another 0 for 4 tonight. They now have dipped under 10% on the season, which is just ungodly for an NHL team. Blew a 2-0 lead, and then blow the game in the shootout as the Flyers lose 3-2. As I said, this is a game that a team that's ready to win wins. All right, and just put it to you that way. Sam Ersson played well and for the most part of the game, but his goals that he gave up were questionable. He only faced what did he face on the night? And we'll break the goals down here momentarily too. But he faced 28 shots. Which is I guess it's an average. It's what the Flyers have been giving up on the season, but mostly clean looks, and the two goals that were scored against them were on very clean looks. The second goal was a little bit of a screen. You had Hathaway, who was making his Flyers debut tonight because they decided to sit Cam Atkinson and Morgan Frost, and we'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the show. There were open looks, and Ersson's got to make those saves. As for the Flyers, the only offense they could get going tonight was from their All-Star. That's right. It's official. Travis Konechny on his way to the All-Star game. And obviously, he shows why tonight with 2 goals. But, again, that is the only offense this team could muster. And, there was a goal late in the game that was not ruled a goal. Look, it was one of those – it was off the crossbar. It was a Johnny Hockey shot. It wasn't enough they looked at it. It wasn't enough to overturn the no goal call. But the Flyers are in desperate need of some offense right now, and I don't really know where that offense is coming from. Is how long are we going to talk about this cute little story of the nasty, tenacious, Flyers? There's really these are games that the Flyers I think should win, and it's just frustrating, I guess is the word I want to kind of look for here. It's very frustrating because this was a game that they could have won, losing 3-2. So let's head over to the box score tonight. We'll talk about the goals. The scoring summary in this game tonight went as follows. Travis Konechny would get things started for the Flyers at the 17-12 mark of the first period, his 19th, assisted from Joel Farabee and Sean Couturier. And let's take a look at that goal because it bears. That's what we do here. We take a look at stuff. So we're going to take a look at that goal real quick and just kind of walk through it. Let me bring that up. There it is. And so. As you can see, the Flyers are set up in their zone. I like the spacing a little bit here. It's pretty good. Play goes to the net. Now, once again, really good spacing here by the Flyers. As you can see, they're pulling the Columbus Blue Jacket defenders. Basically, they're pulling everybody down low. The puck goes out across. It's a little bit of a turnover. Then a battle in the corner. The Flyers are able to get the puck back. Beautiful play here by Couturier as he gets the turnover and heads back down the space. Now I'm going to kind of walk it to about right here. So if you guys can look at this, this is really bad defense here by the Blue Jackets. They're really kind of out of position here. This guy is not committed to nobody. He's not committing to the shooter. He's not committing to the pass. He's just kind of hanging out, waving his stick on the ice, maybe hoping to get lucky. This is just real bad defense. And then as the play kind of develops in front of the net, you can see that they get the turnover here. But look who's Johnny on the spot right there. Joel Farabee is going to pick up the turnover. And then it's just really bad defensive positioning. You got two defenders in front of the goalie, which is fine. And again, we got this guy now who's way out of position. You got Travis Konechny who's sitting back door. No one's even paying attention to him. And I don't really blame these two guys at all. Their job is the front of the net. He needs to commit. He needs to commit somewhere, but he doesn't. Konechny is standing right there, back door, wide open, beautiful goal. And then we have 1-0 Flyers. So Flyers found their way to a really good goal due to some bad positioning by the Blue Jackets on defense, but a lot of good work on that goal. They gave up the puck a little bit in the corner. Couturier fought it back. That was just a really hard-working goal, and they were rewarded with a beautiful play backdoor to Travis Konechny all by himself. So the Flyers had the early 1-0 lead, and that was the lead, and that was the score heading into the second or into the first intermission. No goals in the second period, and then Travis Konechny would get the Flyers the 2-0 cushion at 4:29 of the third period. Let's take a look at that goal real quick, and let's bring that up here. Bring it up. So that goal is as follows. This is going to be a transitional goal. Good defense, good defense. Turnover, leads out on the rush. Beautiful play, beautiful play, beautiful play. And that's just all Travis Konechny. There's nothing that the Blue Jackets could do there. That was just a really good transitional goal by the Flyers. I mean, we can nitpick a little bit about committing on the defensive side. As we move, the Flyers move into the zone. Farabee's going to pull the defenseman. He pulls both of them with him. And there's obviously the break. Again, just a beautiful play. Could you call it bad communication with the defense? Maybe. Especially what's this guy doing over here? And why do you leave the open guy here in the lane? But just a really good puck. And then he falls a little bit trying to recover, which gives Konechny his extra burst heading towards the net. That's where you have 2-0 Flyers. The score would then go to 2-1 as the Blue Jackets would find their way onto the scoring sheet themselves. The goal was scored by Jake Bean. It was his third of the season. It was scored at the 2-1 goal was Damon Severson, his fifth at 5:24. So I don't know, about a minute later or so, they were able to get back on the board. Columbus ties things up or cuts the deficit to 2-1. We'll take a look at that goal. And that was let's take a look at that goal. Trying this out for the first time. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. So let's roll it. It's good work there in the corner. Actually, let's pull that back. Good work here in the corner by the Blue Jackets. There's Severson. He's going to creep down in behind. Here's Hathaway. Hathaway is really the only Flyer player that I can see is out of position here. He is not really committed to the net. Now, he's a winger. His job on defense is back. Or his job on defense, actually, he's a winger, and his job on defense is out here. I don't know why he's so deep right now. I really don't. And this is pretty much the only problem here, as you can see, he's not. He commits too late. A beautiful little pass one-timer, and then the goal. But it was a clean look. Urson had a clean look at that goal, and he went down a little too early, and gets beat right above the shoulder. But again, if you want to nitpick this thing, it's Hathaway a little bit. He kind of was non-committal of what he wanted to do. I don't like his positioning as a winger this deep inside of the defensive zone. He needed to be a little bit further out. If he would have been further out, he would have been right in the middle of that passing lane. And then when he decides to commit, it's too late. And it's just a beautiful one-timer. And we have 2-1 Flyers as the Blue Jackets get on the board. And then the final goal of the game, or the final goal of regulation, was scored by Jake Bean at the 10:20 mark, his third of the season, to tie things up. So let's take a look at that one real quick. Let's take a look at that one. Let's stop that one. There's the Bean goal right here. There's really nothing to talk about when it comes to this goal. This just I think a goal that Urson should have. I mean, this was a clean look. Transitional goal. He's just going to come right down the wing, drop pass, and then boom. I mean, I don't really know. Again, he goes down a little too early, in my taking, but there's nothing really the Flyers could have done anything really different here. He's actually on bad ice. He's on bad ice when he takes the shot. For those who know hockey, the bad ice is everything from the boards to the dot, and good ice is from the dot to the net, or dot to the middle of the ice. And the Flyers have the defense does its job. It pushes him out to bad ice. He takes just throws it at the net, and he scores. I mean, Ursa needs to have that. He needs to make that save tonight, and he didn't. So that's why you have 2-2, and then the Blue Jackets win it. There was no goals in overtime, and the Blue Jackets end up winning it 3-2 in the shootout. Flyers now on the season are now the Flyers get a point. Yeah, you got to be happy about that. 19-13-6 now for 44 points as they fall to the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight at the Wells Fargo Center, and not what you wanted coming home, and not after. Let's face it, it wasn't really that good of a road trip. They kind of let things down a little bit, but yeah, you really can't have that. You can't have that. We need to win that game, but it's not going to stop me from doing my 3 Flyer stars of the night, because there are some people that I want to talk about. So here we go. All right, my number 3 Flyers star of the night. I'm going to give it to Owen Tippett. Owen Tippett actually ends up on the negative side of the score sheet. He ends up the night with a -1, but he had a season high 7 shots, and that's pretty damn impressive. He's been ball hawking. He's been around the net. He's that spark plug player. Definitely the returns on him from the Claude Giroux trade. How can you not be really happy about what Owen Tippett provides this team? Didn't get a goal or an assist or any points. Finishes with a -1 actually, but 7 shots on net. I'll give it to him. He is my 3rd star of the night. My number 2 Flyer star, I'm going to give it to Sean Couturier. The facilitator that he is, 2 assists. He finishes the night with a +2, and he only had 2 shots, but we saw how he kind of facilitated that first Konechny goal. That was some really good work by him in the corner there to feed Konechny down low, or to kind of get that play out of the corner. So I'm going to give Sean Couturier my number 2 star of the night, and my number 1 Flyer star. Well, how can it be anybody but the All-Star himself, Travis Konechny? 2 goals. Finishes the night with a +2, and he also had 7 shots on night. His 19th and 20th goals of the year on the night that he finds out that he is a NHL All-Star. So there you have my 3 Flyer stars of the night: Owen Tippett, Sean Couturier, and Mr. Travis Konechny. And the 3 Flyer stars of the evening tonight was brought to you by Dolan's Bar down in Delco, 24 East Sellers Ave in Ridley Park. You never know who might walk through the front door at Delco. So what are you waiting for? Get down there now, and you'll see for yourself what I mean, man. It's not, we're not making that up, man. Former, current Philadelphia sports players come in all the time. Let's take a look around the National Hockey League on this Thursday night. Games that are still ongoing. It is 2-1 Blues over the Canucks late in the third. The Flames lead the Predators 5-3 midway through the third. The Avalanche are trailing 4-3 to the Stars midway through the third, and also midway through the third, the Lightning are trailing the Wild 3, Wild nothing. In the second period, it's 2-1 Islanders over the Coyotes, and out in Vegas in the first period, 1-0 Knights over the Panthers. Games in one more late game. Actually, they're all late games. Wow, no, they're all late games. Big late games scheduled tonight. About 12 minutes remaining or gone in the first period. Nothing. Ottawa and Seattle. LA and Detroit will get underway in a little bit out in Los Angeles, and also the Jets and Sharks will get underway in a little bit out in San Jose. Games that have gone final. It was Pittsburgh over Boston 6-5, the Sabres over the Canadiens 6-1, and the Rangers over the Blackhawks 2-1, and that will be all your action. Pretty full night in the NHL tonight. In the NHL. So there you have it. Flyers tonight, 3-2 losers. One last thing we'll talk about. We talk about stats. We do that every night. I kind of went out of order, so let's go over those team stats for this evening on the Flyers. And then we'll talk a little bit about their season stats. As I mentioned, 0 for 4 once again on the power play tonight. They are now lower. They are now at 9% effective on the power play through 38 games, which is god awful in all kinds of ways. But on the night, as I mentioned, the Flyers outshot the Blue Jackets 41-28. 0 for 4 for the Flyers in the power play, but the Blue Jackets were 0 for 5 on their power play. So that's short. So the shorthanded specialty skill is really working out well for this team. They just can't get anything going with the power play. The Flyers blocked 22 shots to the 15 of the Blue Jackets. They also had 5 takeaways and 3 giveaways on your night. And that's it. 3-2 Flyers, losers in the shootout. This game stung because this is a game that I thought the Flyers could have had and they should have had. They're a much better team than the Blue Jackets. They had the 2-0 lead. Urson gives up a couple clean-looking goals, not major defensive breakdowns in front of them. You could talk about Hathaway being a little bit out of position on that first goal. But at the end of the day, Urson's got to make those saves. Those were easy saves. The second goal, as I mentioned, was taken from the bad ice part of the ice. And it was just kind of like, let's throw it on net. And maybe I get a rebound type play. He's got to make those saves. And he didn't tonight. And it cost the Flyers. And on the Flyers side of things, they got to find offense from somewhere. The power play, we'll go over those numbers in a second. The power play is entering criminal neglect status right now for this team. You're not going to be able to justify to me that a National Hockey League team, it cannot be any better than 9% on a power play at almost the halfway mark of the season. That is not that somebody needs to get fired over that, or then they're really sending a message that they just don't have the people. That's fine if that's the case, and it is. But what are we doing to get people on the power play? Because we cannot continue to go through the season like this. Or if we do, it's going to be a lot of games like this. They just have really shot themselves in the foot when it comes to skill position players, scores that they don't have that would really help out this power play. If the power play was working just a little bit, the Flyers would be in a lot better position that they are in right now. But it's not, and they're not. So it's frustrating to see a team that's right there. And now let's see what kind of a GM Danny Briere is and what kind of a president Keith Jones is, because it's obvious what this team is missing right now. We need scores. We really do. On the season, as I mentioned earlier, the Flyers now 19-13-6 for 44 points, 38 games. They are now 12 for 121 on that power play, 9.9% effective. They've been shorthanded 121 times, and they've killed 104 penalties for 86%. So the Flyers have been shorthanded as many times as they've been on the power play. Obviously, night and day with those two stats. Flyers now scored 110 goals on the season, close to 3. They've given up 106, close to 3. They've registered 1,247 shots for about 33 a game. They've given up 1,095 for about 29 a game. Their OT record is 3-4, and their shootout record as a result of tonight's loss now 3-2. They also have 9 shorthanded goals. They've taken the puck away 239 times for the season for an average of about 6.3 times a game. They've given the puck up 250 times for about 6.6 times a game. They've blocked 705 shots for 18.6 a game. So about 19 shots a game they block. And since that 21-22 season, the Flyers are now 75 for 574 on the power play, which is 13% effective. You look around at some Flyers prospects. A lot of them, well, actually, most of them now are back from the WJC. The only one not is Cutter Gauthier, who had that beautiful goal today for the Team USA as they defeated Finland. And then now we'll face Sweden tomorrow in the gold medal game. Gucci now is now leading all point. He's gotten the most points in the WJC in this tournament with 12, but only 2 goals and 10 assists. But some of the other prospects we can look at. Some of the players that we might be interested this summer. Macklin Celebrini, he played for Team Canada. He's back, but he hasn't played yet. Cole Eiserman, who I think I erroneously reported as making Team USA, he did not. He's only 17. He'll be 18 sometime this spring, so he'll be draft eligible. But definitely look out for him next season on Team USA in the WJC. But now 36 games played between the U.S. national team and the national team development program, which plays in the USHL. He's registered 40 goals, 25 assists for 65 points, 14 penalty minutes, and a gaudy plus 40. Cole Eiserman might be the talent in this draft. I know Celebrini is the consensus #1 pick, but if that is the case, Cole Eiserman's going #2 because this kid can flat out score. Sam Dickinson, and the talented defenseman who plays for the London Knights along with Denver Barkey and Oliver Bonk. He's now played in 36 games, 11 goals, 23 assists, 34 points, 16 penalty minutes, and a plus 23. Matt V. Michkov is back in action with Sochi. He was dealing with pneumonia. He's played now in 33 games, 13 goals, 16 assists, 29 points, 18 penalty minutes, and a -3. Sochi's a really bad team. Denver Barkey for the London Knights, 34 goals, 19 assists. 34 games. Good God, 19 goals, 36 assists, 55 points, 14 penalty minutes, and a plus 20. Oliver Bonk, who should be getting back in action here soon with London as well. 28 games played on the season, 6 goals, 24 assists, 30 points, 16 penalty minutes, and a -6. You look around the farm, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms are currently 13-13, 4-1 for 31 points, good for 7th place in the Atlantic Division of the American Hockey League. And your Reading Royals are now 12-14, 1-1 for 26 points, 6th place in the North Division of the East Coast Hockey League. And there's your look around the farm. You look at Flyers prospects. You look at everything here on the post-game show. And that's going to wrap me up for the night. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Flyers fall 3-2 in the shootout in a game that's going to hurt, in a game we needed, in a game we should have had, as Sam Ersson let up some questionable goals in the 2 goals that he gave up and only faced 28 shots to boot. So the Flyers fall tonight 3-2 in the shootout. And that's going to do it for me. Don't forget on Saturday, make sure you're checking back in as we will wrap the Flyers week up with the Calgary Flames. Big Al on the call on Saturday. That definitely won't be me. I'll be out of town. So make sure you're checking back in for that. And in the meantime, make sure you're checking out Sherry's Tickets for the best tickets, the best prices in sports, concert, theater tickets, www.sherrystickets.com. Save an additional 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. And then don't forget Dave Cherry for all your legal, workman's compensation, motor vehicle accident, personal law, injury, and criminal law. Dolan's, as I mentioned, and Philly Sports Trips. Travel like the pros and visit Philly Sports Trips. Folks, have a great night. And in the immortal words of Mr. Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.